Jainendra, everyone. This is Jain Worldwide Virtual Classroom, and this is Jainism Stress Management Workshop Session 3. We are basically explaining Jainism from the perspective of stress management. And that's the objective of this class is to go through the fundamentals of Jainism and then to perform some real life case study to give participants idea of stress, the complete framework on how to resolve stress. So in the just giving you overview of what we have done last two class, the very first session we did introductions as well as we talked about, okay, what is the definition of stress? We tried to define stress, but we came to conclusion that there is no clear definition of stress as such that we can find. So then what we did was we started studying Jainism, started going through fundamental Jain concepts with the purpose that once we study them, then we will have a framework to define and understand stress. So the second session last time, what we did was we studied about 6 substances. Earlier we just looked at the names of the 6 substances in the universe, how the universe is made up of according to Jainism, and what are those 6 substances. And what we specifically covered last time was that all 6 substances, basically the substance is a collection of attributes, right? They have some properties, just like gold has a property of a yellow color and certain type of texture and this and that. Similarly, every particle in the universe, every soul in the universe, so all 6 substances of the universe have some properties in them, which we call as attributes. Now, every attribute is in its sense, it has its own functionality, but there are some attributes that are shared commonly across all 6 substances, and they are the foundation of understanding the substances. So with that in mind, what we did was we covered all 6. There are so many more common attributes that are common across all 6 substances, but we looked at specifically 6 of them, and we covered actually 5 of them. Last one, Pradeshatko, we will cover it today. So we covered all of them and to understand the substance. We briefly looked at their definition, we looked at the examples, and then we talked about a little bit of applicability of how it helps us. But we are going to talk about it more later on. But right now we are exploring Jain framework, Jain concepts in order to define stress. We need a framework to define stress, and that's why we are going through this concept. So if there are any questions since last time, please feel free to bring it up right now. Any questions? Any questions? Vishal, any questions?
None for now.
Okay, all right. So if everything made sense, then we can go forward, okay? All right. Keep in mind, if you have questions, please somehow resolve it. Either you can resolve it here by asking in class or basically asking after class. If you don't resolve it, then the doubts will build up over time and then you will lose interest. So I hope that doesn't happen. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, all right. So can someone tell me what are the 6 attributes? What are the 6 common attributes of the substances that we studied? Does anyone remember it? I mean, you may not remember the name, but do you remember what it was about? Like you can give it in your own words too.
I can try maybe. Astitva. that
Uh-huh.
is the quality of existence.
Uh-huh.
Vastutva, that is energy with which the activity happens within a substance.
Very good.
So I think I have a question. I still get confused between Vastutva and um, what's the third one?
Dravyatva.
Pramayatva? Pramayatva.
Dravyatva.
Pramayatva is the energy that the paryay changes.
No, that's Dravyatva.
That's Dravyatva. Okay.
So Vastutva.
I think Vastutva and Dravya.
Yeah. So Vastutva tells you that any activity that takes place
Mhm.
within the substance, it's due to it's due to its own ability to do that function. You know? So every substance in the universe, every particle, every soul has the ability to cause change by its own energy. You know, it doesn't need. It's not dependent on outside to do that activity. Okay, and every substance has its own activity, specific function that it performs. So that's Vastutva. Now, what Dravyatva says is that every
Can you
substance.
give me an example?
Yeah, so basically, let's take an example of a mango, right? We use that mango example all the time. So mango, the color, it has a ability to change color, right? The color, the change of color, that activity takes place within the mango, and that is due to mango itself. Mango particle of the mango itself. It
Okay.
doesn't
So
need that
so
from
so
outside.
is it fair to say that because of Vastutva, no substance needs outside intervention to take place, take any change, have
Correct,
for having any change take place in it?
correct.
But
Yeah.
but the energy with which the change takes place in Paryay, that's with Dravyatva. So
No.
Vastutva
Dravetva is
is
a little bit different. Let me get to a point. So Vastutva, like for example, mango, right? Uh, when mango is not ripe, we want to make it ripe. So what we do is we put it in a grass, right? Bunch of grass. So then after a couple of days, mango becomes ripe. So this change occurred, right? Now let's ask ourselves question: this change in color, did that occur due to the grass, or did that occur due to the mango itself? Ankita, what would you say?
Due to the mango itself.
Due to the mango. Why not? But like say someone may argue, right, that if grass wouldn't be there, then it wouldn't have caused that change. Then shouldn't the grass be the cause of change? Why mango? Someone can argue like that, right? Just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, no, the quality is within the mango to change.
Correct.
So if it didn't have that quality, it would never.
Correct. Very true. So for example, like say if you take a piece of stone, and put it in a grass, will that ever go ripe?
No, because the stone doesn't have that quality.
Because stone doesn't have that quality. Yes, but what happened was the mango did go ripe in the presence of the grass. So if mango had an ability to go ripe and it did go ripe, then the presence of grass is called an external factor, or a nimitt, or instrumental cause basically. So what instrumental cause is that it doesn't get involved in the process, but it's just merely a present factor. It's kind of like a catalyst, if you say were to say in a chemistry, that it doesn't participate in the process. The process is fully due to mango itself. Mango has the ability. Even by putting grass, you cannot just make the mango ripe just overnight in 1 second. I mean, or like in 1 second. It just takes its time. So mango has that ability. So that ability to change, do that function, ability to change color is within the mango. That's due to its own Vastutva attribute. Now, let me get to Dravyatva. What Dravyatva is, it says is that every substance is continuously changing without any interruption. So not only it changes due to its own ability, it's continuously changing, and at the same time, its true nature remains constant. So that ability to change continuously, independently too, it's called Dravyatva. And ability of performing that function separately, having like soul has a function of knowledge, right? Just like Pudgal has a function of color, touch, taste, color, smell. That ability of knowledge in soul and ability of color in Puggal comes from within, that substance within, that's Vastutu. Now that change in both of them occurs continuously without any interruption, outside interruption or outside help. That continuous change is called Dravya.
So, but I think I was just confused in the. I think here on the screen it says Vastu was the energy that causes specific activity. I was just confused with that statement because the way it's explained, it seems like it's more the ability to cause change within the substance rather
Correct.
than
Yeah,
the
but
energy.
that's the color is a activity, right? The color is an activity. I think there's some background noise from. Can you put it on mute? Can you please put it on mute if you are not.
Priyanka, I think it's Priyanka. Priyanka, could you please make it on?
Okay, go ahead. I'll be right back. Just a second.
Priyanka? Priyanka, come on mute.
Okay, all right. So, is it clear now?
Yeah, much better.
Continuous change versus that particular concept, difference of concept. That's what we are explaining. Okay. There is some lot of background noise. Please put it on mute if you are not speaking. Not sure where it's coming from.
It's Priyanka Prerit.
Okay, okay.
I mean, I can hear her. I don't know.
Okay, all right. We'll just continue. Okay. Next is Prametwa, which is the potentiality or quality by the virtue of which the substance becomes the object of any kind of Jeev's knowledge. So ability to be known. Jeev has the ability to know substances. But Prametwa is basically an ability to be known. That's a Prametwa. And we will talk more about it in detail later on. But any questions about the definition? We gave plenty of examples last time. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Pritesh, can you text her or something like that if possible? I think there is a lot of background noise. Okay. Any other questions? Agru Lagutva, is that clear? Agru Lagutva? Okay. So the last one that we need to see is a Pradeshatva. Okay. So Pradeshatva is a potentiality or quality by the virtue of which substance has form or shape. So every substance basically has some sort of shape, right? A particle or basically Jeev in a specific body acquires that shape. That shape is due to its own ability, and it achieves that shape due to its own virtue of Pradeshatva. That's a Pradeshatva. So what this tells us is even the shape acquired by a substance, a particle, or other substances in nature is not dependent on other substances. One particle shape is not due to other particle. Whatever shape is acquired, it's due to its own attributes, its own ability. Saurabhji here? Saurabhji, are you there? Saurabhji?
Hello.
Hey, Janendra. Yeah, Saurabhji, you can explain from Pradeshatva attribute here.
Okay. Pradeshatva attribute means
Saurabhji, we can hardly hear you. We cannot hear you properly.
Pradeshatva attribute. It means shape formation attribute. So that potentiality or quality by virtue of which are the substance or which exist in some shape or form, occupying some shape is called shape or formation attributes. So as we discussed last time about attributes, that all all Drab all Drab are having attributes. Two types of attributes are there: common and special, Samanya and Vishesh. So we are just discussing about common attribute. We see shape of each and every Dravya. So that is not useless. That is not without any reason. There is a reason behind that shape. So reason is called Pradeshatva attributes. Due to Pradeshatva attributes, we find shape of each and everything. In whole world, no one is able to find out that kind of thing which is out of shape. Means each and everything will be in shape. It is called Pradeshatva attributes or formation attributes. Okay. Srinathji, carry on.
All right. So with this we have covered the 6 common attributes of all 6 substances. Okay. So in summary, what you want to keep in mind is this: that every substance is independent in its existence, change, or functioning, as well as every substance is independent in its maintainability, shape, and ability to be known. So, what this tells us, one fundamental fact that you want to gain out of this learning the 6 common attributes is that once every substance is independent of each other. One substance cannot do anything into the other substance because they are completely independent of each other in their functioning, in their existence, in their maintenance, in their shape, their ability to be known, everything in their change. So no substance is dependent on each other. Now, with this, we will answer this question. The question that I'm about to ask, we will answer that later. But to spark your curiosity, I'm going to ask that question right now. Think about in terms of stress. If one substance is independent of other substance, that means one soul is independent of other soul. One particle is independent of other particles. So that means GU substance cannot do anything within the Puddal substance, and Puddal substance cannot do anything within the substance. So, can external circumstances and give us the stress? Can other people bring us the stress? That's a question we will answer later on. But just you can think about it right now, okay? Based on these principles. Okay. All right. So next, any questions up until 6 common attributes? Okay. If there are no questions, we will go for that. Let me ask Saurabh. Saurabh, I have a video, a documentary on a rebirth that is about 40 minutes long. What should we do? Should we play that first, or should we go through the way first?
For what video on the topic of
Video on basically rebirth, theory of rebirth.
okay incarnation?
Yeah. Should we play that, or
Okay,
should we go to the user way first here?
we can start for 5 or 10 minutes. Uh,
Yeah, I was thinking that documentary is 40 minutes long, so maybe we can just show that documentary. If we want to do that, then we can just play that, and we can cover the due, because we talked about last time that all 6 substances are permanent, they're eternal, and due basically doesn't die after the death. The existence of due continues. So to prove that concept, there is a documentary that we can play here. Should we play it, Saurabh?
yeah, we can play. No issue.
Okay. Everyone would like to see the documentary? It's a 40-minute long. Sorry?
Hi, Preet.
Yes.
Hey, sorry to interrupt you. I know, it is very good message to send out, but could you please just go around the table and just, across everyone and just ask if anybody has doubt in reincarnation.
Okay.
Everybody still believes that rebirth. Just a suggestion.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anyone has a doubt in reincarnation? Rebirth? That How do I believe whether it may or may not exist? Anyone? No one has doubts? Okay, if people don't have doubts, then what we can do is we can just send the link of that YouTube documentary in WhatsApp basically or email, so people can just look at it on its own, on their own. Okay, all right, we will do that. Good suggestion, Emil. We'll continue with Jeev Dravya. Yeah, Gaurav I'm Gaurav. Go ahead and can you explain the special attributes of Jeev Dravya. Now we are getting into the special attributes of each substance. Up until now, we were studying common attributes. Now we are studying specifics of each substance. Saurabh, go ahead.
Okay. So to know the attributes of each and every drug is very important, because if we are unable to know the attributes, how we will just bifurcate that this is Jeev Drab is separated from Pudgal Drab. So if just someone is entering in Jainism, if someone is entering to understand the Vastu Subhav, if someone is just willing to have a real happiness, he will have to understand the Swarup of Jeev Drab, Swarup of Pudgal Drab, etc. And you will have to know the common attributes as well as spatial attributes. So far, in last two sessions, we have discussed about common attributes, and now there are some spatial attributes of Jeev Drab, etc. Gyan or consciousness or sentence, which is means power to know. It means Gyan, Darshan, Chetna is called in Hindi, and consciousness, Gyan, etc. is called the special attributes of Jeev Drab. You will find that this special attributes can be found only in Jeev Drab. If you just try to find these things, these Gyan in Pudgal Drab, in Dharm Drab, in Adharm Drab, you will never find that. So this is the special attributes. As we know the definition of special attributes, that special attribute is specific. Specific, it means that attribute will be only in that particular drab, not in all drab. So Gyan is a special attribute of Jeev Drab, and you will find Gyan only in Jeev Drab. If we talk about ourselves, we are Jeev. Okay, how just can we prove that we are Jeev? Ketanji, how can we prove ourselves we are the Jeev?
If we accept the philosophy that our body is separate than our soul, then the thought process that the soul is the knower, that part of you which is the part that is the knower, is the part that goes on from one life to the next life through birth and rebirth. How do we prove that that is the case? That I don't know how to answer, Surabji. I don't know how to prove that that is the case, other than that is what our learned people tell us who have experienced this for themselves. Because I have not experienced it for myself, I cannot know it. But I have faith in the people who tell me that they've experienced that.
Okay. Anyone else who can just prove that about Jeev Drab, about Chaitanta, about consciousness? Okay, Ketanji, it's a very simple matter. Even it doesn't require any scholarship, any hi-fi knowledge, hi-fi study of Jain religion or other religion. We are Jeev Dravya, and each and every time we feel the Jeev Dravya, we feel the Gyan, we feel consciousness. How can we know? If we close our eyes, we find darkness everywhere. So the knower of the darkness is called Jeev Dravya. We feel pain, we feel pleasure. Body doesn't feel it. It will never feel it. But the feeling of pleasure, the feeling of pain, it is called Gyan Subhav. It is called Chaitanta. So Chaitanya, each and every Drabya feels that I'm Jeev Drabya or full of Gyan. So to know is the power of special attribute of Jeev Drabya, and it is equally you can find in each and every Drabya. You cannot bifurcate that the person who has got salvation is more powerful in knowledge, or a Jeev who is in hell is less powerful. Jainism claims that each and every each and every soul is equally powerful, knowledgeable, with equally consciousness. So you, me, each and everybody can feel that I am Jeev because I feel pleasure, pain. I can see, I can know, I can feel. It proves that I am Jeev Drava, and it is the special attributes which cannot be found in Pudgal Drava, which cannot be found in other elements or other Drava. Is that clear, Ketanji?
Ji.
Okay, Preeti, elaborate, please.
Okay. So we can take one more example in order to understand this view dravya. Let's take an example. Let's compare ourselves with robot. You can compare any living being, be it cat or dog or human being, and compare it with the robot. What does a living being has that robot does not have? I mean, you can make the most sophisticated robot out there, which can talk, which can walk, which can even breathe using the machine. But there are certain things that a robot will not be able to do that a living being can still do. What are those things? Can anyone identify that?
Emotions.
Feeling of pain and pleasure,
Emotion, pain and pleasure. Okay. What else?
uh, gyan, the
Knowledge,
power, knowledge,
knowledge, intelligence. Yes. Emotion, knowledge, pain and pleasure means we can say happiness and unhappiness. What else? What else? There is one more thing that you can say.
perception,
I'm sorry.
perception,
Yes, perception. And there is one more thing, which is ability to form belief. We have ability to form belief. We can form belief that this is good, this is bad. Robots cannot do that. Robots cannot know. Robots cannot form belief. Robots cannot experience emotions. And robots cannot form intentions. And robots cannot feel happiness or unhappiness. They're just a mechanical or electrical particle arrangement, sophisticated arrangement that just does different type of motions and functions as we see them. So in that case, compare our body with the robot. Our body, the particles of our body, has a touch, taste, color, and smell. Fundamental attributes of our body particles are touch, taste, color, smell, because that's a physical substance. Same with robot. Robot's body, it has touch, taste, color, and smell. So then, if the fundamental nature of those particles is the same, then why can we do certain functions and robots cannot do? What's missing in robots? Yes, what's missing is that Jeev Dravya. So the substance that has this knowledge, perception, belief, conduct, emotions, and happiness and unhappiness. All this collection of all these qualities, that substance is called Jeev substance, or in English we can call it soul. Soul, Jeev Dravya. So that substance is missing from robot. Robot is non-living being. It's not a living being. And Jainism has a very clear definition for a living substance. Living substance that has a knowledge means intelligence, darshan, perception, shraddha means belief, charitra means conduct or intentions, ability to form intentions, and sukh, dukh means bliss or happiness. A substance which has all these attributes, collection of attributes, it's called Jeev Dravya. Is everything clear? If it's clear, then I would like to play devil's advocate and bring one more example. Someone can say that a lot of scientists do claim out there that it's our brain which receives knowledge, gains knowledge. There is nothing like soul. It's because of our brain that happens. What would you say to them? How would you prove your point then?
I think the folks, if you look at the folks that are in coma or brain dead, they're technically still alive, right?
Correct. But they may say that their brain is functioning on a less capacity, so they're gaining less knowledge. I mean, they're alive. That's what they would say. They're not dead because their brain is not dead. I mean, they would associate everything that we just say to the brain. How would you say that it's not brain? How would you know? Any suggestions? I have one more example that I want to bring about to that point. So let's talk about flash drive. Okay, computer memory that we have, a flash drive memory. You may be able to see pictures on it, but does flash drive have a knowledge that I have this picture stored on me? I have a picture of myself, or I have a picture of my friend or my wife stored on a flash drive. Does it have that feeling or awareness that the flash drive has that picture on it? Anyone? Ethan, does it have awareness? No, right?
Prerit, what would you say about the robot that competed in what's that TV show, Jeopardy? Um, you know the computer from IBM that's faster than the human and that can answer all the questions. What?
Yes, very good point. That computer has its own limitations, right? You can simply do what you program in it. You may make it seem like it's a intelligent computer, but it's still simply programmed. It cannot go beyond the boundaries of its program. Basically, it's a programmed. It's completely programmatic arrangement. So what I'm trying to bring, the point I'm trying to prove is that just like that flash drive does not have any awareness that there are pictures stored. Think about the process how we gain knowledge. Like let's say when we see from eyes, someone say that our eyes are gaining knowledge, but eyes are simply just collecting the particle. It's kind of like a television set. It's collecting a picture. It's just wanting a picture of what's outside. So just like a television screen does not know what's playing on a television, it's us who knows what's going on television. Eyes does not have any knowledge. What happens is the signals from eyes goes through neurons, goes through brain, right? Correct me, Ketan, Pritesh, correct me if I'm wrong. Through neurons, those electric signals travel to the brain. So now you can say that these electric signals have knowledge. So now think about this. In your TV transmission, the signals from one part of the country to travels on to other part of the country through electric signal or air waves, and then in the TV is an electric signal. Does that electric signal know that this is red color or this is green color or this is cricket match going on or this is politics going on TV? Does it know? Does it have that awareness? No, right? So that means what you can see is that the signal that travels from eye to the brain also does not have any awareness of that color. This is red color or this is green color. What I'm seeing sun or I'm seeing moon. Does not have that awareness. It's just a form of particulate arrangement that reaches to the brain. Now we know that over there, in the brain, this information gets stored. Someone say it gets stored. Now who has the awareness of that picture basically? Like just like we noticed that the flash drive doesn't have awareness of a particle being stored. The brain particles are similar in nature, right? It has touch, taste, color, smell. Although they have a different arrangement, fundamental nature is touch, taste, color, smell. So the particle reaches there and stays there. Does it have awareness that this is picture of sunset or this is picture of sunrise or I'm seeing red color or green color? Who has that awareness? Brain, it's reached, signal has already reached to the brain, but does not have that awareness quite yet. So that's what Jainism says, that awareness, that knowledge, that intelligence, that comes from due substance. So in robot, although robot can see a lot of things using sensor, it does not have the awareness that this is red color or green. That's the point we are trying to prove. Any questions? Any questions up to this point? So G substance is clear. Okay, we will go to the next slide. Saurabh,
One way to prove, I think,
go ahead.
lot of background noise. I don't know if it's just me or.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of background noise. If you are not speaking, please put yourself to mute because there is some background noise, continuous background noise here.
Already.
Okay, go ahead, Pritesh.
Yeah, I mean, so if everybody have seen, or whenever everybody sees that video of reincarnation, you will see that this whatever information those kids are giving, they never saw those things. If it was brain storing all the information, this is a new brain, totally new, which has never seen any of that information. So where did that information come from? If we believe that everything is stored in the brain and everything is in the brain, it's coming from the brain, then that hypothesis is completely proved wrong when you see that video and realize these kids are able to tell they have never seen things before.
Very good
So
point,
that's
Pritesh.
how, yeah.
Yeah, very good point. And along in that video, that kid has not only he has seen his previous life in this life, he has never seen all those things. Along with that, when he visits his original house of the previous life, he it evokes those emotions within him. So those emotions also carried forward. That attachment that he had this previous life house gets evoked. So the emotions also transferred. That's something else to notice there. Okay. All right. Next slide is Pudgal Dravya. We are going to study the special attributes of Pudgal Dravya. Saurabh, yes.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I have one question here.
Yes.
So on that note, like the Ekendriya Jeev, right? Ekendriya Jeev is similar to robot, right? They cannot
Imal, your voice is breaking. We
have
can
knowledge that they are Jeev, right? They cannot know themselves, right? But agree that pain and pleasure, like they do feel the pain.
Yeah. Even Ekendriya Jeev has a very minute form of knowledge. Although we don't, it also experiences pain and pleasure, happiness and unhappiness continuously. It also does kashayas, means it also forms intentions continuously. It gets angry, but it's so minute, and we don't have any ways to know what they're feeling. That's why we assume that they're like Puddal, but I mean they're not. Actually, they have a specific emotions. They are Jeev. They have all the functionalities going on. Functionalities of Jeev that we just saw, Gnan, Darshan, Shraddha, Charitra, and so. It's all going on even within the Ekindriya, one sense living being, like a bacteria.
Okay. Okay.
Saurabh?
Yeah. So it's a very important thing that we are Jeev Dravya, and we have discussed a lot about that Jeev Dravya is not only for a specific this paryay, but it just will go in next paryay, which is called rebirth or incarnation. Of course, the question is very simple and it's a very common question that the sanskar, the knowledge, what we are just, we think that we are collecting each and everything in our mind. It means our mind is recording everything, but it proves false when some person get next word and he, as it is, just to get memories which he just collected in previous birth. It means memories or feeling of pain and pleasures are not collected in mind. Okay, but these are collected in Atma, which is called Chetana. Second are Dravya is Pudgal Dravya, and special attributes of Pudgal Dravya, we can say sparsh, touch, taste, color, smell. Here are some example. Example are hard of touch, hard, soft, warm, and cold. Ras, it means taste. Examples are sweet, sour, salty, bitter, etc. Gandh, it means smell. And examples are good smell and bad smell. Color. Examples are red, yellow, green, etc. So these are all Pudgal. You know what we see around the world, all are Pudgal. You cannot find anything except Pudgal. Our body is Pudgal. Gold, silver, computer, diamond, each and everything which is visible, it is called Pudgal. So the special attribute of Pudgal Drav is Spars, Ras, Gandh, Varn, and we can see only Pudgal. See only Pudgal, it means Atma or soul is the subject of realization. But Pudgal is the subject of visualization by our eyes. Okay, so Bhagwan, the body of Bhagwan is also Pudgal. Body of human is also Pudgal. Water, even air. Okay, air cannot be seen. So Prateji, is it Pudgal or not? Ketanji, air cannot be seen. So is it Pudgal or not? You, I think Mike has put on hold.
Okay.
Yeah, it is Pudgal.
Okay. How can we say that?
Well, now you can look those molecules under the microscope. That's one of the ways to see. So you can you can feel the smell. So you can smell air sometimes different ways. So there is smell part. Uh, Taste, mean we probably are not as sensitive, but you can definitely smell that. You can feel it. So there is some touch part. There is some smell part. Whatever with our limited capabilities, we can identify at least a few special attributes. If those special attributes are there, at the same time the other special attributes should be there because that's the universal law. So that means it is, and these are special attributes of only Pudgal and not any other Dravya. So it has to be Pudgal.
Okay, and the one powerful argument is there about that air is also Pudgal. Air cannot be the subject matter of our eyes, but it is the subject matter of touch. It means when just the air is touched by our just skin, we can feel it. It is cold air, it is hot air, it is bad air, or it is good air. So the thing which can be seen by eyes are called Pudgal. The things which can be feel by our skin, can be listened by our ears, can be just feel by skin, etc. These all things are Pudgal Drav. And these are the special attributes of Pudgal Drav, Spars, Ras, Gandh, Varn, etc. Okay, Preeti, now you can.
Okay, so everyone's clear on what's Pudgal Dravya? Everyone's clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
we have studied Deep Dravya and Pudgal Dravya up until this point. So there are four other substances in the universe according to Jainism. They are medium of motion, which is Dharmastika, medium of rest, which is Adharmastika, space, which is Akash, and time, which is Kal. But we are, for the purpose of this workshop, we will not go into too much detail of those substances because what's more important for us is to understand Jeev and Pudgal Dravya. Because our existence, if you think about our body, what our existence we know of as a Jeev plus Pudgal, right? We know of our body, and then we know that we have emotions, we have knowledge. So what we think of our existence is as Jeev plus Pudgal, the combination of Jeev and Pudgal. Our real existence is just our soul. We think of our existence as Jeev plus Pudgal, this entire combination. And that's what we are going to understand in a little more detail. So that's why we can then define stress. So we are not going to go into too much detail of other substances at this point in time. Okay. Yeah. So next, up until this point in time, we talked about substance, what are the 6 substances, and then we talked about the attribute, what is attribute, what are the properties, and then we talked about common attributes. We talked about specific attributes of Jeev and Pudgal substances. Now we are going to see what is Paryay, which is state or modification or the behavior of a substance, and how this behavior takes place within each substance. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Saurabh, can you please explain us from the slide Paryay, behavior?
Okay. So far we have discussed about Drava and Gun. Now it is the turn of Paryay. So Paryay is a subject matter of changeability. Each and every moment, each and everything is changing continuously. No force, no one, no God, No powerful person is able to stop this the changing of paryaya. Paryaya it means modification. Paryaya it means changing. So each and everything in this world is changing continuously. Even we talk about our body, our home, gold, silver, each and everything of this world. It is called modification, behavior, or state. Change of state of each attributes of substance is called modification. So we know the definition as we previously studied about this, that change or state of each attributes of substance is called modification. Each modification of each attribute of every substance is independent of each other. Last time we discussed about that. If someone just try to stop that my youngness must be seized over here, it must not be transformed into old age. So it is not possible that a person who can spend lots of money is able to seize his youngness at a specific time, because modification is that kind of principle which is inevitable, cannot be avoided by anyone, cannot be avoided by any god. So each modification of each attribute of every substance is independent of each other. Each modification of each attribute of all substances occur in a specific sequential order. It is called Krambadhu Paryaya. It means one Paryaya will come after another. So there is a sequence of each and every Paryaya. We can take an example of a garland of a pearl. It's a very famous example. Garland of a pearl, it means there is a one pearl, second pearl, third pearl, fourth pearl. It means each and every pearl will be in sequence. Just like each and every paryaya is in sequence. For example, in previous days we were child. Now we are young, and in future days we will grow old. So these are three stages, three pearls of that garland. One is childhood, second is youngness, third is oldness. If mother of a son, she thinks that, or if she is willing that my son must be grow just to grow, my son just get youngness instantly, it's not possible. As per the principle of paryaya, the principle of paryaya says that your son will be of 20 years in 20 years, not before 20 years. So it means each and every paryaya is krambadh. It's a sequence bound modification. Each modification of each attributes of all substances pervades in swakshetra. It means entire region of substance. Each substance is considered the doer of its own modification. No substance can interfere with anyone. Okay, it's I think notable thing that each substance is considered doer of its own modification. No substance can interfere in it. No one can stop it, and no one can change. So this principle of paryaya tells us that if you're trying to stop your money, if you're trying to stop your youngness, if you're trying to stop good days in your life, it is not possible, because modification of paryaya is inevitable. You cannot avoid it. Okay, Prerit now.
Okay, so we will take one more example again. Let's go back to the example of mango. We earlier saw that when we want to make mango ripe, we put it in grass. Then the question is, why does the mango go ripe? Does the mango go ripe because of itself or because of the grass? The grass causing the change in changing the mango to go ripe? And we saw it earlier that the grass is just the external factor. It's called instrumental cause or catalyst. That the change solely occurred, completely 100% occurred due to the ability of the mango itself. So there cannot be interference, because if we say that the grass caused the change, then the stone should be able to go ripe as well when we put it in grass. The stone never goes ripe, even no matter how many days you put it in grass. That means stone never had the ability to make that change. So that's why we say that each modification of each attribute of each substance is independent of each other. So one substance cannot cause any change in other substance. That the change that is occurring, colors that will change, knowledge that is occurring in us is also due to our own ability, not coming from outside. We can take another example. When teacher teaches, student is learning because of the teacher, or student is learning because of his own ability? What would you say? Nishit, what would you say? A student is learning because of his own ability, or teacher's teachings?
Right. Once again, there's a lot of background noise. If we could put anyone who's not talking on mute, that would be great.
Yeah, please, if you're not speaking, can you please put yourself on mute? There is some background noise. Okay. So Nishit, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So the knowledge that occurs in us, is that due to teacher, or is that due to book, or is that because of our own ability to know?
So the teacher is just the instrumental cause. We have the ability to know, and we have the innate knowledge. That's why we know.
Okay. So even in the given same class, there may be two students. The teacher must have taught the same throughout the year to both the students. But one student may pass and the other one may fail. Why is that?
So in both, again, both have the knowledge within them, but the one that was able to know, I guess, learn at that point, the teacher has become an instrumental cause in his case, whereas the other student, that didn't happen because of the teacher.
Okay. All right. So, so what's the role of teacher then? Then should we not credit the teacher for? I mean, we are not, I mean, teacher, if we are learning on our own, what's the role of teacher?
Role of teacher is nimit. The teacher is nimit to an instrumental for the person to learn, but the person does not learn necessarily because of the teacher. It is because of paryay. It is because of the change that occurs within the student at that moment, at that time, for him to acquire that, for him to open that knowledge. Acquire is not the right word here, but open that knowledge.
Very true. So teacher is independently teaching. Teacher cannot learn for student, and student is independently learning. So teaching and learning are two independent processes, and teacher can only teach, but only student can learn. Teacher cannot do learning for student, and student cannot teach for student. So there are independent processes occurring totally independently. So only when student puts an effort to learn and gains knowledge, then and then we will say the teacher has become an instrumental or external cause for him. So the learning occurs solely due to the ability of that Jeev or that student. So there is no external interference that can occur. Similarly, let's talk about the example of mango. So when the color changes in the particle of mango, that color exists in the entire particle of that mango, right? It's not that in one compartment of that particle the color is that, in the separate compartment of the same particle that there is a different color. It's not like that. So that each modification, each change in the attribute exists in the entire region, and this change occur in a specific sequence, and that specific sequential order in Jainism is called Brahmad Paryay. So in summary, what we want to learn from this slide is that each substance is considered the doer of its own modifications, and no substance can interfere with other substance for the change that is occurring in the substance. So now, again, the question to ask: who's responsible for the stress occurring within us? Is that the situations, or is that the external circumstances? That's something that we will answer next time. There is only 3 minutes to go. So I'd like to open a forum for any questions, or if there are people who haven't introduced themselves in the class before, if you would like to introduce yourself, this is the time. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. Is there anyone in class who couldn't introduce yourself before?
Hi, Pradeep. This is Hemal.
Hi, Hemal, Jajanendra. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. My name is Hemal Rupani. Myself and my wife, Mithil Rupani, reside in Houston. And we are thankful that, right after our marriage, I think by that time, this class has started. And we are very fortunate that, that we able to go through these classes and really acquire fundamental knowledge of six substances, and which is completely different that I learned so many years in India. So thanks, and hope you enjoy this class. Continue this class for children.
Yeah, great, Hemal. Great to have you back, and we are always very happy to have you here. And we learn a whole lot with your questions. So we encourage you to continue asking those questions. Okay. Anyone else? New? Okay. All right. Are there any questions? If something didn't make sense, we don't want to go too fast. We are not in a hurry to finish the curriculum or anything like that. So if there are any questions, feel free to bring it up here, or you can email or call after class to Saurabh or to us, or whatever, however you want to learn. Just make sure you get your doubts cleared. Everything's clear up until this point, what you have learned?
Hey, great. Siddharth here.
Okay.
Jainism.
Rajanendra Siddharth, go ahead and introduce yourself, as you haven't introduced yourself here in this class after you knew.
Yeah, my name is, I'm Siddharth Parekh. I'm located in Houston, Texas. I have been attending class, but I couldn't attend since last 2 years properly. Means I was on and off, but not completely. I will try to attend this now fully, consistently basis.
Yeah, glad to have you back, Siddharth. You had any question?
Yes, I have a question, Preet. Actually, I missed that Saurabhji explained about the Pudgal on the, how can we say that the air is Pudgal? And I heard the Pritesh response to that, but after that I couldn't get a chance to hear the Saurabhji's response to that.
Yeah, Saurabhji, would you like to explain why air is Pudgal again to Siddharth?
Pudgal, it doesn't mean that you can see that. Pudgal may be the subject matter of any indriya. It may be the subject matter of your skin. It may be the subject matter of your eyes. It may be the subject matter of your just ear. So air is not the subject matter of our eyes, but it is the subject matter of our skin. It means it can be touched. We can feel hot air. We can feel cold air. It proves that Pudgal is air. Pudgal, it doesn't mean that can be visualized only by your eyes. Pudgal, it means you can know by your any indriya. It may be your ear, it may be your nose, it may be your eyes. So Pudgal is the, air is the subject matter of your touch.
One clarification here, that although we cannot see air, that doesn't mean that air doesn't have a property of color, okay? Property of color, it still has. It's just a limitation of our eyes, that because of which we cannot see color of air. Color, touch, taste, color, smell, all these particles exist completely in every particle. Whether we can see it, whether we can smell it, whether we can taste it, or whether we can touch it or not. But due to our limitations of our own senses, sometimes we cannot sense those things. Like, there are certain types of smell that we cannot sense, but dogs can do. There are certain types of sounds that we cannot hear, but the dogs can hear. So it's a limitation of our senses. But those particles, Pudgal, still has those attributes in it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, understood now. Just because of the limitations we consider, right? Because there are chances, like say the light or sound. I know, Prerit, I think you explained to me earlier. The light and sound the same way, right? We cannot smell it or we cannot touch it, but we can, as Saurabhji said, with our senses at least we can feel it. So it's there, but we cannot perceive it fully with all the senses.
Yeah, correct. Even there are microparticles out there, right? There are so microparticles out there that we cannot even feel it, touch, taste, smell, or color with anything. But still, they are there, right? What we are saying is that there are some. It's limitation of our senses that allows us to feel certain type of particles if they are gross enough and if they are strong enough in their certain attributes. that doesn't mean that they are not there if we cannot feel it. Our limitation of our senses does not deny their existence.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Any other questions?
No, I think. Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you, Pradesh.
All right. So with that, we are at 11 o'clock. Time is over. We will continue this next week, the same time. Meanwhile, if you have any suggestions or any other ideas, or if you have questions, feel free to send it to us. Okay. Thank you. See you all next time.
Thank you, Jainism. Thank you.
Jai Jinendra, Jai Jinendra Sahib ji, Jai Jinendra.